everyone and welcome to a new episode of Indie Your Face. I'm Latch and today we're gonna talk about microtransactions. So last week everybody was talking about microtransactions, saying how it's destroying the industry. Everybody's talking about AAA games, big corporations, but what about us, indie game developers? If we use microtransactions, are we evil? Let me start with an example. Let's suppose we have two restaurants. One that sells chickens at $15 and the other one sells the exact same chicken at $10. So yeah, you go for the cheaper one. So you get in there, the guy comes in and gives you a meal. And then he goes, "Do you want some salt?" And you go, "Yeah, why not?" And then BAM! Microtransaction screen. You'll be like, "What the fuck, I need to pay for salt? That's awful." Now usually this is where people go crazy and do stuff like QED. Microtransactions are bad.
Yeah, I started all this.
Now, of course, this is bad, but the whole example is wrong. If I want to put that into the real world, that means I would have a game for $3 and the exact same game for $2, but with the option screens locked. That just don't exist. Who would do that? So why the hell have I shown you a bad example? Well, my point is, it's very easy to hate microtransactions. Just take anything you want and put that screen, and voila. A lot of people will share your hate, and you'll get thousands of likes. There's a lot of jokes like that on internet, and some of them are pretty funny. And I don't mind, they are not meant to be taken seriously. But when serious people are describing the whole business model just like an 80s cartoon, that started to piss me off.
Yeah, I love money so much.
Not so fast! Microtransactions are destroying the industry! This ends now! Microtransaction is asking for money. Simple as that. Now don't get me wrong, there are bad ways to use microtransaction. Like a lot of things, there's the good, the bad, and, to quote Edmund Macmillan, words cannot express how fucking wrong and horrible this is. And I agree. But putting everything in the same box and say that it's evil is pretty bad for us for two big reasons. Free game with microtransaction is a great way to reach a maximum of players and keep paying your bills. Let me show you some stats. Here's 3 games we did at Berserk Studio. The price of each games went from free to a couple of bucks. In all cases, more than a half of revenue is coming from in-app purchases. And if we remove that revenue, it doesn't cover the production costs. We lose money. So that's from Berserk Studio's game. But maybe it's just us. Maybe we suck. So I reached Toge Production, the guys behind Infectonator, and I asked them how well it went. Turns out it's pretty much the same thing. Chris and Tony even told me, without microtransactions, we will not be able to sustain the team and make more games. So what's Toge Productions are doing right now? They have enough money to work on a bigger game, for Steam. Alright, but what about premium games? Well, according to Flurry Analytics, 90% of games on mobile are now free. So if you go premium, expect to have only 10% of downloads. At first, I didn't want to believe this, so I reached over to Juicy Beast guys. They made Nightmare Tower. It was acclaimed by critics, nominated Best Game of 2013 on iOS. They even appeared in the New York Times. How cool is that? So their downloads should be awesome, right? Well, it turns out that we got 10 times more downloads than them. And we never got that coverage. But just the fact that the game was free, people downloaded it. I asked them if they got their money back, and they replied, "Yeah, kind of." Space is Key is another premium game. My friend Chris put the game for free over the weekend, and he said he got more than 100,000 downloads in 2 days. So sadly, people don't pay for a game anymore. So that's why making a free game with microtransaction is a solution. As long as you respect the player, you're fine. But please, don't demonize one of the few ways we have to keep up making games. It's pretty bad for us, but worse, it's splitting the indie community. Let me tell you a story. Last year I went to GDC and I met an indie game developer that I respect a lot. I follow him since a long time now, and I'm a big fan of his work. So when I finally meet the guy, I showed him Peacekeeper, the game I was working on at the moment. And I swear to God, this is what happened. It is looking like a good game. Let me see. I can buy some stuff. Buy. No. Sorry, no. Good luck with that. I was shattered! The guy barely played the game, he just went right through the microtransaction screen and bam! I was a terrible human being. I felt fucking horrible! I did games for free and I'm terrible! Now, I don't want to name the guy, and he doesn't look like that, alright? But if you recognize yourself, it's okay, man, alright? No hard feelings. I still like to take a beer with you and talk about games, alright? So yeah, when people ask, are microtransactions good or bad? I think most of us reply, it depends, or not so simple, or the question is just wrong. Because it is, this question is wrong. It forces us to pick a side. It's way more complex than that. But since the majority of people hate microtransactions, some indies will go along the crowd to make sure they don't piss off anybody. And that's the very last thing we want, because without our fans, we're nothing. I need to say, I am myself very afraid of posting this video online. I hope the crowd won't go against me. I could have done a simple video showing bad examples of microtransactions and just say, that need to stop! That would have given me a lot of likes and a lot of subscribers. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be honest. Just like anybody else, I grew up where you could pay $3 for a game and enjoy it for the whole weekend, without having microtransactions screen all over your face. But I also remember that weekend where I spent $3 on a game and turned out to be shit. That was pretty bad. I just lost my $3. That doesn't happen anymore. And what about Action 52? That was fucking horrible. The game was sold for $200, and it was barely games. Remember what I said? Good, bad, fucking horrible? Well, that's pretty much the same thing today. Saying microtransaction is bad because Dungeon Keeper is like saying video games are bad because Action 52. So it's not microtransactions' fault, it's the way people are using it. Microtransactions are not good or bad. It's more complex than that, and the question just split indie game developers in two. And we really don't need to be split. We all share the same passion, we just want to make games. If we split indies in two groups, we become half as powerful. And Skeletor wins.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next question will be how to use microtransaction correctly. And I'll make another episode just on that. But I really wanted to make a whole episode on how demonizing microtransaction is bad for us. So thank you for watching this episode. As usual, you can hook me up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and on my website. I'll be at GDC this year. So if you're coming and you want to drink a beer somewhere, that'd be awesome. Hook me up. Alright, see you next time, guys.